Okay, I'm gonna try to get everything in today in 10 minutes, but the dogs are outside and they might need to come in, so I'm gonna try though. We're setting the timer, 10 minutes. We start on page 156. 156. Suddenly, one day at high noon, the skies darkened, the winds sprang up. I thought nothing of it. It will only be a mad romp, which will serve right well to blow us along homeward. But oh, what a short-sighted creature is vain man, who thinks to read the signs of the skies, the winds, and the waves. The merry whistling of the wind soon gave place to the dismal howl of the blast. The storm fiend was stalking abroad. The startled waters now leaped wildly up from their beds, rolled tumultuously onward, whipped into a foam and fury by 10,000 lashes of the blast, till, in their mad efforts to escape, they dashed themselves against the very clouds. The scene was terrible. 'Twas useless to command, for not a throat of steel could have drowned the wild yells of the tempest. To my horror, I discovered that we had sprung a leak. The pitch and tar, softened by the heat of the water in Neptune's cauldron, had bulged from the ship's joints and allowed the caulking to escape. Like a sheet of cardboard, our rudder was now torn from its place and whirled away on the crest of a giant billow. Behold us now at the very mercy of the storm, the plaything of wind and wave, a cockleshell fallen on the ground, on the battleground of nature's waning elements. Bulger, lashed to the rigging by my side, uttered no plaint, no cry of fear, no sound of distrust. I could see that his speaking eyes were following me about as much as to say, I am not afraid, little master, so long as you are by me. I could feel my heart thump out loud, thank thee, dear, faithful little friend. From time to time I passed my hand caressingly over his head and neck. His tail moved sadly, but I knew its meaning. It meant, little master, I am ready to die. I, most willing to die, if I can die with you by my side. It really seemed as if his love was about to be put to a final test, for the dreadful cry of breakers ahead was passed from man to man till it reached my ears. It was only too true. The roar now broke upon my ears, faint, low but deep, terrible, half like distant thunder or the growl of some gigantic beast of prey. In a few moments we were on the reef. Do you hear her? I'll be right back. Okay, I gotta step away for 2 seconds. Okay. I had to get a, never guess I got my hair colored, would ya? Sorry, my nose is running. Lay down. I looked at me like, okay. Oh no, I got my pencil there. Oh, my dearest Bulger, thou tried and true friend, companion of my sorrows and sharer of my every joy, thou alone canst save us. Thou alone canst rescue thy loving master and these poor wretched creatures from impending death. I know thy courage, I know thy affection. In thy radiant eyes I read thy willingness to do or die. From his earliest youth I had trained Bulger to be a bold and skillful swimmer. No eddy, current, undertow, or whirlpool was angry or wild enough to strike any fear to his stout heart. With ease, at my commands, he would dive 2 fathoms deep and bring the smallest coin from the bottom. Our vessel might go to pieces at any moment, for she had wrenched herself loose from the rocky ledge and was pounding on the jagged, flinty edges of the reef with a wild and ungovernable fury. Every fleeting moment became more and more precious than its predecessor. Making a superhuman effort, I caught the end of a reel of twine, and having fastened it to Bulger's collar, bade him leap into the bubbling, boiling, seething, swirling, madly rolling waters, storm-lashed, whip into foam, till billow broke on billow, and all seemed but one mingled mass of fury, rage, and fright. With a rapid succession of anxious, whining cries, followed by a series of quick, loud, sharp barks, Bulger gave me one last look, and placing his paws on the taffrail, sprang lightly over and disappeared. My heart stood still for a moment, but look, he rises. He strikes out for the shore, now tossed like a bit of cork on the arched backs of a storm of frighted billow, now sunken out of sight into the foam-flecked trough of the sea. Look again. Hark! I can catch the faint sound of that sharp, joyous bark sent back to cheer his little master's heart. And now he is gone. I see him not, but as the twine runs through my hands, I can almost feel every throb of that dear, stout heart. Steadily he keeps at his work, for steadily and rapidly the reel spins round. Crack! There goes our keel in twain. Quick, good Bulger, the end is near. But look, what is that commotion on shore? See the crowd, how it presses down to the very breaker's edge? Now they fall back. Hark! Did you not hear that shout? Saved, saved, Bulger has landed. The men on shore would have hold of the twine. The reel whirls swiftly around. My men, ashamed of their cowardice, crawled from their hiding places and set to work with a will. Already they have fastened a line to the end of the twine, and it is moving briskly over the rail. There can be no doubt now. Bulger has saved us. Springing into the main shrouds and shielding my mouth from the gale with my hands, I called out to my men, "Stand by the hawser. Make fast the line. Now heave, oh, land go all. Let go all." With an angry splash, the hawser fell into the sea and was soon on its way shorewards. And this was the way Bulger saved the life of master, mate, and 12 seamen. I was the last man to leave the ship. As I did so, she shook herself loose, drew back, ran hard on the rocks with such a terrific blow that she broke into pieces as if struck by a lightning bolt or some gigantic hammer wielded by an unseen Thor. With a wild cry of joy, Bulger met me as I was drawn through the breakers. I threw myself on my knees and covered him with kisses while tears rolled hot and fast down my cheeks. The people of the land gathered group-wise about us and watched our interchanging of caresses in deepest silence, agitating their thumbs and twitching the corners of their mouths. "What land is this? Where are we, good people?" I inquired after this first outpouring of love and gratitude had spent its fervor. "Bold barbarians," replied one of the nearest group, whose richer dress bespoke the man of rank and authority. "Thou standst on the shore of the mighty dominion of Kublai, child of the sun, lord of the imperial yellow garb, knight of all buttons, man of the sacred continents, successor to all the glories of his ancestors, now guests of heaven, source of all law and equity, and chevalier of all the orders. And we are his wretched, miserable, unworthy, good-for-nothing slaves." Whereupon the entire multitude performed the kowtow. "So then," I cried, "most puissant and noble and altogether delightful sir," at the same time performing the kowtow with that grace which only the genuine citizen of the world can command, "I stand upon the sacred soil of the mighty Chinese Empire." "I, bold barbarian," answered the speaker, "in the province of Kwangtung, in the district of Yangqiang, of which I, so too, Mandarin of the White Glass Button and Imperial Superintendent." Hearing this, I begged so too to give me leave to speak, which granted, In a brief but eloquent speech, well larded with all those savory epithets so sweet to the ears of an official in that land, I told him of my illustrious family, my strange desire to scour the remotest seas and least visited lands for marvelous things, how I had sailed in search of Neptune's cauldron, of the strange things seen there, and my setting out on my voyage homeward, my encounter with the storm fiend, and last of all, my shipwreck on the shores of the boundless dominions of the child of the sun. And now, all that I craved from the servants of the man of the sacred continents was such aid and assistance as would enable me and my men to reach the narrow seaport, where foreign ships cast anchors, so that we might go down to the sea once more and reach our loved ones. To all this, So too gave response with a most gracious smile, and then invited me to pass beneath his roof, lay off my wet clothes, drink some warm tea, and have his rubbers smooth the wrinkles out of my tired flesh. My seamen were not forgotten. His retainers were ordered to look well after their wants. Just as we were about to set out for So too's residence, several of his bodyguards struck their gongs with furious blow. The din was ear-splitting. With a loud bark, Bulger rushed towards me, and laying one ear on my leg, closed his other with his paw. So too and his retainers, at seeing this to me laughable sight, looked grave, agitated as their thumbs and twitched the corners of their mouths. Just as I was about crossing So too's threshold, to my inexpressible chagrin, I discovered that I had lost my purse containing a large sum of money. In a desperate hope that I might have dropped it on the seashore, I bounded away in that direction, but I had not gone 100 paces when I met Bulger carrying it in his mouth. Okay, so tomorrow we will start on page 160. Okay. Quit procrastinating on anything and everything. Time wasted is just that, time wasted. Avoid distractions and the noise around me. Block it out. The art of continuous self-love, through food, through water intake, through intentional meditation and thought. Something inside of me is superior to circumstance. Is it kind? Is it true? Does it reflect my authentic self? Focus more on money and its education. Focus more on self-discipline. See the sun, honor the moon. Forward momentum. The path out of hell is through misery. Honor my journey. We are slaves to our own incessant urges to escape the present moment. Meditate, walk, journal, stretch, love animals, leave life to wonder all it needs. Less stress, more fairy tale. Work on bettering the love I show my body through the food and beverage I put in it. With money, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Focus, lose any ties to victim mentality. Continue to help yourself. That sounds about right. All right. Till tomorrow, I go walking after midnight. I can't sing at all. Okay. See you. Bye.